Happy morning, students. In the previous session, we have seen till FBC. So now we are going to see what is uh, the types of FBC boilers, and the first one which we are going to see is pressurized FBC boiler. So you have a boiler which is having a freeboard tube bundle like this, and immersed bund tube like this. Okay, one is immersed, the other one will be free. Okay, the boiler is surrounded with a concrete structure. So the immersed will be surrounded with some fluid liquid. Okay, so we have a pressure inlet system. From there, it's connected to the boiler, and then we have the coal and the lime store, which is connected to the pressurized inlet system, and ash disposal for collecting the ash from the boiler. Then we have the dust collector remove the dust particles from the uh, ash and also from your coal inlet system. Okay, so after the the function of the boiler. So the saturated stream coming out from the boiler, it is given to the turbine, where in turn it is given to the generator. Okay, and it is converted into electrical energy. In the turbine, from the turbine, the flue gas is connected separately. So this is the pressurized FBC boiler. So the air is supplied through a separate tube. Okay. The next one what we are going to see is circulating FBC boiler. So the arrangement of the circulating FBC boiler is like this. The first one is the lower zone where the coal is fluidized in this, and then the unburned particles from the cyclone is received in this section, but it is fluidized. You know what I've told you about the fluidized. Then we have the second zone, that is the upper zone. Here the coal is completely burnt, and amount of oxygen in the zone is more because we are going to burn the coal completely. So here we have one more thing called as heat exchanger. Now we have the third zone where the circulated solid separated zone. The unburnt coal, that is from the second zone, the unburnt coal is separated here and it is given back to the first zone. The steam is given to the turbine through the upper way. Okay, so this is circulating FBC boiler. The video which we have seen is circulating FBC boiler. The next one is atmospheric FBC boiler. So here also we have a freeboard tube bundle and immersed board tube bundle, and then we have dust collector, the coal storage, and the sorbent. So the dust collector collect the dust from the exhaust gas of the boiler. Then we have a air inlet system. Then we have ash disposal system. Okay, so this is regarding a uh, atmospheric fluidized FBC, atmospheric FBC boilers, that is fluidized bed combustion. Now we are going to a supercritical boilers. Supercritical boilers means this boiler will have the pressure at 221 bar, that is above the 221 bar. So this about this 221 bar, there is no distinction between steam and water. There is no difference at all. So the water will become a fluid. There is no difference between the steam and water. So that is here there is no saturation temperature at all. It is always done in one throughput. So this is the supercritical boiler. We will see that. So here in the supercritical boiler, we have, let me explain the subcritical boiler. So subcritical boiler, you know very well. From 345, it is nothing but the pump action, 561, 56 boiler, 61 heater, reheater maybe, 1 2 turbine and 3 2 condenser. Okay. So let us have my pressure here. So in this supercritical boiler, from 2 it doesn't have any saturation point, so it will be in random manner and you have only 4 stages. So the 4 stages will be, you will be having C2D as feed water, boiler, turbine and pump. The heater stage is removed here. Okay, so because as it is supercritical boiler, we will have a high temperature steam. What are the advantages here? Of course, the efficiency will be the main advantage here is the efficiency will be increased and the erosion and the corrosion of the boiler will be avoided in this, and we have a better temperature control. So this is called as this is the advantages of the supercritical boiler. Now we will move on to the circulation. So we have two types of circulation. One is natural and once through is a forced circulation. So let us consider the natural first. So we'll have a one. This is done in the boilers. So we have a evaporator, downcomer, and a condenser. From the evaporator, it goes to the downcomer, and the steam will be given to the superheater like this. Okay. Now, when we are going to the condense once through, it is just once through. From the bottom economizer, it goes to the superheater steam. That's it. Okay. There is no evaporator and downcomer in the once through. Now, again, I'll show you. We have economizer, the downcomer, and then the heat is given here. Then you have the steam to the turbine. But when you are coming back here, it is just a once through. So from the economizer, it goes to the heat. The steam, the steam is given here, and it is liberated like this. Okay. So this is your once through circulation. So, what are the similarities between the subcritical and supercritical? Of course, we have the boiler, turbine, condenser, and the cycle which we are going to do is a Rankine cycle only. It's followed. Air heater, economizer, and the Trout system. Okay. So, in subcritical boilers, it's nothing but steam, drum steam generator. But supercritical, we have tubes. This is what we have seen in the video also. Now we'll move on to steam turbine. What is a turbine? It is going to convert the heat energy or a thermal energy into an mechanical energy. So we could classify the steam turbines as the impulse turbine and the reaction turbine. According to the number of wave pressure, we could classify it as single stage and multi-stage, and direction of the flow we could classify it as axial and radial. Okay. So let us consider the turbine now. So this is your impulse turbine and reaction turbine. So the impulse turbine, the steam will hit the foil and start rotating it. Where in the reaction turbine, a nozzle is provided at the tip where it strikes the blade and makes the rotor to rotate. Okay. Here the steam expands completely. Here it is only in partially. You could see the physical structure also. The example for the impulse is nothing but the Devol, Rothieu and Curtis turbine, whereas here it is Parsons reaction turbine. So what is compounding? Next we are going to see the compounding of turbine. The compounding is nothing but reduce absorption of the velocity. So when the velocity is striking the turbine, it it will increase the rotor speed around to 25,000 to 30,000 rpm. To reduce the speed, we are providing component, that is, we are providing an interrupt to reduce the speed, that is called as compounding here. So we have three types: velocity pressure and velocity pressure. So here we in the velocity compounding we have a nozzle. This, let us consider this as the moving blades and this one as the fixed blade. So in velocity compounding, the pressure entering the turbine will be equal to pressure leaving the turbine. Okay. So likewise, again in pressure compounding turbine, you have fixed. So the it is not a constant. We have your velocity constant at the end of the turbine. Okay, so this is pressure constant, pressure velocity both together. The first stage, We have the velocity at the first stage as constant, and second stage also it will be a constant. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is your pressure and velocity component. Condenser is a device where we are going to absorb the heat from the steam and making it as a working fluid. So classification of the condenser: open type and closed loop type system, jet and surface condenser we are having. So what is open type cooling system? Which is nothing but you have a river, from the boiler it goes to the turbine and condenser, the pump, then from the pump it is given to the boiler like this. So the condenser gets the water from the river, and the river again in turn back it does pump the water to the condenser. Okay, in closed type nothing but it is provided in an open loop type system. You are going to provide a cooling tower. So that is your closed type system. Okay. Now, jet type condenser and cooling water. Jet type condenser, water and steam is mixed together. Cooling water, it is not mixed. So in the cooling tower, the water and the steam is mixed, and we are getting the condensate. Okay. Where in the cooling water, the water is allowed to pass through that condenser like this, the blue color tube, but it is not mixed. It is separated. So that is called as jet type and surface type condenser. So in classification of jet, we have parallel flow, counter flow, high level. Classification in surface, you have downflow, center flow, and evaporator. So parallel flow, this is the arrangement. So from the condenser, we are going to, from the river, it is given to the condenser. So the exhaust stream is given. Now from the top, the water is poured like this. Okay, then it is condensated and given to the hot well to collect that liquid. Whereas in counter flow, only the physical arrangement is different. The counter flow, you will have the water from the corner of the condensate and also at the middle. So this is your counter flow. So the water and the steam is mixed here. As I told you, jet condenser, we will be mixing water and steam. So in this high level, the water is poured with like a high pressure will be higher in this. So if you see here, it will be poured like this. The water will be poured like this. That is your high level condenser. In downflow condenser, the water bubbles, the blue color one will be the water tubes. So it is allowed to pass through the steam, whereas the condensate is collected and it is given to the hot well. Okay. Again, in the central flow system also, we have a center point as the cooling section. Here also the water tubes are present, allowed to pass through the steam. The condensate is collected at the bottom. So this is your central flow condenser. Okay. The evaporator, we have a cooling point. We have induced draft fans at the top, and we have a water nozzle like this, and then you have exhaust, the steam coming out from the turbine and it is given to the condenser like this. That is the way the black color line which I am showing there, it's the tube, whereas you will get the steam and you are going to give it to the condenser. So here from the water is pumped from the pond and it is poured over the tube. So the condensate is collected in the bottom. That's it. Thank you.